Hello friends, this video on thermodynamics part 19 is brought to you by examfear.com. No more fear from exam. Please make sure that you have watched all the videos from part 1 to part 18 before going ahead with part 19. So now let us look at the sequence of steps constituting one cycle of Carnot engine. So the first one is isothermal expansion of gas, right? The second step was adiabatic expansion of gas. The third step is isothermal compression of gas, and the fourth step is adiabatic compression of gas. Now for each of them there will be some work done by the system. I discussed all these things when I told you about isothermal process and adiabatic process. We discussed about the work done during an isothermal expansion, the work done during adiabatic expansion. Similarly, isothermal compression and adiabatic compression. So if you want, you can write down the expressions for work done for each of these processes. So that much amount of work has to be done for isothermal expansion, adiabatic expansion followed by compressions. Now, if we want to plot this graphically, so how will we plot it graphically? So let us write down the expressions for each of these processes. So during isothermal expansion of the gas, work will be done by the gas and heat is absorbed by the gas, right? So in this case, what will be the work done? Work done will be nothing but mu r T1 ln V2 by V1. We have derived all these expressions in our previous slides, right? So during isothermal expansion, what happens? Work done by the gas. Similarly, when there is adiabatic expansion of the gas, even during that case, work is done by the gas. So in this case, what is the work done? Let us call this W1, let us call this W2. The work done in this case would be what? It would be nothing but the expression for adiabatic change, that is R divided by gamma minus 1 T1 minus T2. Right? Now during isothermal compression, work is done on the gas because in this case, heat is released by the gas, right? So work is done on the gas. So in this case, W3 will become mu R T2 ln V3 by V4, right? Now I will also tell you about the change of state which takes place. In the first place, let us suppose that initially the gas is at this state P1, V1, T1. So if this was the initial state, right? So here what happens? The gas reaches from, in the first step, what happens? The change takes place from P1, V1, T1 to P2, V2, T1, because it takes place isothermally. Now in the second case, what happens? The change takes place from P2, V2, P2, V2, T1 to P3, V3, T2, right? Now the temperature changes from T1 to T2. Pressure and volume also changes to different values, that is P3, V3. Now in the third step, the heat is released to the cold reservoir, that is some work is done on the gas, and again it takes place isothermally. That means temperature will remain same here. So here what will happen? From P3, V3, T2, it will reach some value, say P4, V4, T2, right? Then again during the last step, what will happen? Adiabatic compression. Here also heat is released, so work is done on the gas and the work done will be given by R divided by gamma minus 1. So the temperature will change again. So in this case, the state will change from P4, V4, T2 to, it will change back to P1, V1, T1. So that means this will become R divided by gamma minus 1 T1 minus T2. So this is how the Carnot cycle takes place. I hope you understood what are the various processes that constitute the Carnot cycle. Now with the help of this, we can calculate the total work done involved in case of a Carnot engine. These are the work done for each of the cycles. So if you want to find out the total work done, you can just add them all and find out the total work done. And once you know the total work done, you can even calculate the efficiency of the Carnot engine, which will be nothing but the total work done divided by the amount of heat that is supplied, that is W divided by Q1. So if you talk about the work done, the net work done or total work done, you can get that total work done by adding these four, that is W1 plus W2 minus W3 minus W4. That's because W3 and W4 represents heat that is released. So they are with negative signs. So this way you can get the total work done, and if you want to find out the efficiency, that is eta for a Carnot engine, so the efficiency becomes this total work done W divided by the amount of heat which it takes from the hot reservoir, that is Q1. So this value will give the efficiency of the Carnot engine. So I'll leave it to yourself to find out what you get as the efficiency of Carnot engine, but I'll tell you the result, of course. So the efficiency of Carnot engine comes out to be 1 minus T2 by T1. This would become the efficiency of Carnot engine. I explained you the main portion. Now your job is to add all of these work done and then find out the efficiency and reach this conclusion. So this is, according to second law of thermodynamics, this is the maximum efficiency that a heat engine can have, which is operating between two temperatures T1 and T2. Now let us see how do we graphically describe Carnot cycle. So we plot a graph between pressure and volume. Let us say this is pressure along y-axis and the volume along x-axis. So what is the first process that takes place? The first process that takes place is an isothermal expansion. So isothermal process is somewhat like this. In our previous slides, I have told you isothermal curves looks somewhat like this, and the adiabatic curves looks somewhat like this. The only difference being adiabatic curves are a bit steeper than isothermal curves. Right? So this is my isothermal process. That means this process is starting from this state, that is the initial state, which is P1, V1, T1. And the final state of isothermal expansion is P2, V2, T1. So the temperature remains constant. So this is my first step. The second step was adiabatic expansion. So adiabatic expansion means the volume is again increasing. So it would be something like this. So here if you see, the volume is increasing from this V2 to some other point, that is V3, and the pressure is decreasing. So this is P3, V3 and T2, because the temperature will increase at this point. So this is my step 2. What was the third step? Third step was isothermal compression. Compression means the volume should decrease. So again it is an isothermal curve, so it should go somewhat like this. If you see, the volume is decreasing. So it is reaching some other point, that is P4, V4 and T2, because it is isothermal, so the temperature will remain constant. And then the last process is again adiabatic compression. So this is also compression. So here also volume is decreasing. So here it goes back to the original state. So if you see, this cycle will keep continuing, right? So the chain of processes, chain of these 4 processes will keep happening, and thus the Carnot cycle will continue and the Carnot engine will keep functioning this way. Thank you. Please visit examfear.com to watch free educational videos, try free online tests, get the best quality study materials, study from the best tutors and mentors, and much more. Thank you once again.